So I was on the internet the other day, unfortunately, and I came across a meme that I thought made a rather bold claim. It simply said, people without children on average are happier than parents. And I had a couple thoughts about that, and I figured, you know what, Father's Day's coming up, and I happen to be a dad, so maybe it's a good time and an appropriate time, at least, to have a dad give his input on this idea that's been floating around for quite a while. So, what's it like being a dad? Well, I'm tired all the time. No matter how much sleep I get, it doesn't seem to matter, and exhaustion is just the regular mode of living, probably due to the fact that all of my waking moments, if I'm not working to make sure I'm able to feed my children, is spent actually feeding them or cleaning up after them or making sure that they don't jump off the coffee table like they really seem to want to do. I don't know what it is about young kids and jumping off of things, but my goodness, they love it, regardless on the fact that it could seriously injure them. There's been a lot more contact with human poop than I was hoping for. I know that might seem weird, but there's this naive assumption, at least I had, that it wouldn't be as much as it is, but my goodness, it's a lot of human poop. And of course, on the emotional side, there's the reality that mom is their favorite, which I don't blame them. They're young kids, and I like my wife better too, but my goodness, a little piece of my soul shrivels up and dies every time they make it clear that they have a obvious preference in which parent they like more. To summarize, my life has become a lot harder since having kids, and I've never been happier. Because despite all the challenges and the exhaustion and the running around, being a dad is the best job. It is my third favorite thing about my life, only behind my faith and my marriage, which I think rightly take precedent. But I love being a dad. Despite how noisy they are, I love the sounds they make. I love the sound of them playing together. And I didn't believe in magic before, but the way children's laughter makes anxiety literally disappear into thin air might just make me a believer. I actually really enjoy feeding them, which might seem weird, but I love putting a tiny plate of food together, which for some reason is cute, which I can't make sense of, and then putting it in front of them and just seeing them chow down on it and the pleasure that it brings them. I love putting my kids to sleep, especially my daughter who's younger. I love holding her in my arms and just rocking her and watching the physical effect of her trust in me. The safety that she feels that in my arms she can just pass right out. It is legitimately one of my favorite things. And I love what my kids have done to me. You know, it's fascinating how despite knowing almost nothing, they teach us so much about our own humanity and about the world around us. My kids have taught me so much about my faith that I was not expecting. But that's such an incredible gift. It's a baffling thing that I can't quite make sense of. And I love how my kids have torn me out of myself. They've made me less selfish. They've made me more charitable, more willing to do good for others simply because I want them to be happy. It might seem like a paradox that something that makes your life so much more difficult makes it so much happier. But the truth is, good is not the same as easy. Most of the time, they're very far from each other, in fact. And the things that are really worth doing in life are difficult because we were not made for hedonism. Simply running after our whims and our pleasures and scratching a perpetual itch is not the thing that brings us fulfillment. It's living up to some purpose, doing something meaningful with our lives. That's what gives us happiness. And parenting is one of those things that absolutely checks all the boxes. I know as a man, fatherhood is just something that's made so much sense out of my masculinity. Because men, it feels like we're made to sacrifice ourselves for the good of others. And parenting is such an amazing opportunity to do that. I love that my kids have made me a better man. They've made me a better husband, which is incredible because these tiny people who require so much of your attention, you'd think that would take away from your ability to care as much for your spouse, but I think it's done the opposite. It's made me much more aware of her and much more grateful for her for giving me this incredible gift of children. This idea that keeps floating around, it's baffling that people are still saying it because I have yet to meet somebody who thinks their life would be better without their kids. Easier, absolutely, but not better. I love my kids. I love being a dad. And we need to stop saying these stupid things about having children, that it makes life miserable, because it doesn't. I'm really looking forward to Father's Day. And one thing I'm going to do this year, although I'm not sure that my kids will understand it or not, I'm going to thank them for giving me the gift of fatherhood, for bestowing this role upon me that I value so much. Because I'm so grateful to be a dad. And to all the other dads out there, what we do for our kids is irreplaceable. As much as kids need their mom, because we can't give everything to our kids that mothers can, there's something that we bring to the table for our kids that our wives can't. So let's take this time, if you are a dad, give yourself a pat on the back, but let's also appreciate our wife for giving us this incredible role, and let's thank our kids, and let's just be grateful. Grateful for this incredible God-given opportunity to raise human persons and to love them and to experience their love for us. Happy Father's Day.